First of all, in this monologue, most of it's going to be a video, and it's about 4 minutes long, so I urge you to watch the whole thing. It's actually, we've crystallized it down from about 20 minutes of video that, from an event in April in Dearborn, Michigan. Now, I went to a conference in Dearborn, Michigan. It's the epicenter, I suppose, of the Arab community in the United States of America. Some very worrying things are taking place. When we went down to this conference, there was massive security, by the way, simply because we dared to speak about things like honor killings. Now, there is a large Arab festival. That's, I think, a euphemism. It really means Muslim festival. Arab Christians are not welcome. A group of American guys who were Christian, there weren't many of them, went along to very peacefully, have their say. They weren't preaching, they weren't protesting, they were holding up some banners, but that was it. Happens all the time at these gatherings. You're going to see about 4 minutes of what went on for a prolonged period of time. Please stay tuned and watch this now.
The city of Dearborn has an ordinance, okay, that you guys can't use the megaphone. Okay, so if you guys continue to use that, you're not going to citation for ordinance.
You realize we used it last year. If they allowed it last year, I mean, unless the law just came into effect this year, why didn't they give us a citation last year?
I don't know. I wasn't a part of it last year, okay? But I just have orders that if anybody uses a megaphone, to just advise them that they're not allowed to use it, okay? Give them a warning, and if they continue to, give a citation for ordinance violation, yes.
So if we don't use a megaphone, can we throw water bottles at the crowd? So what are you going to do if they throw water bottles at us?
If that happens, then we'll take care of it.
We got it on video.
Okay, well, then you know that if you got it on video, then you can take it to the proper channels and try to find it.
I think you don't really want to pursue the law unless it's going to happen to us.
No, that's not true.
Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go.
Get out of here! You don't want to get out! You want to jump out or you want to leave? Beat the shit out of me!
Go! Go! Do you understand English?
Man, they nailed me with a piece of concrete, something right in the back of the head, man. Oh my goodness, yeah! This is insanity. Where are we on? Oh, okay.
We have
had the responsibility of policing the entire festival. And obviously, your conduct is such that it's causing a disturbance, and it's a direct threat to the safety of everyone here. Someone could get hurt. You already have blood on your face. One of the festival people, one of my officers, anybody can get hurt. So we're going to escort you out.
The problem is, when you're not around, that's when they start throwing things and become a little bit more aggressive than what you see.
Okay, I understand that, and I don't disagree with you. But part of the reason that they throw things on stuff is because you tell them stuff, you tell them stuff that enrages them.
In fact, we're not even preaching. So it's obviously the signs. Now the signs are going to be illegal.
Now, there's a lot of this, so just to explain what you didn't see. Did you see, by the way, that little girl in the hijab using the F word? She must have been, what, 7 or 8? Uses incredible religion. Religion? This is not religion. This is something entirely different. She uses the F word, the filth of the language, the threats. This went on and on and on. You don't have to like people. You can ignore people. What you don't see at the end of this video is that this police chief says, we can't spare 2 officers to look after you. Because when the cops are there, the crowd won't do this. We can't spare 2 officers. Then these Christian guys get in a van, about 7 or 8 of them. They drive away. They're pulled over by the cops. There are 14 police officers to pull them over. The police are collaborating in this in Dearborn, Michigan. There have been terrible cases. There's one I mentioned not so long ago of a man who has handicapped children. He was arrested by the police merely for being present at one of these events. His home phone number and address were then released to a group of people, a community that indulges in such behavior. His wife had to tell the handicapped boys, hide if anyone breaks into the house. Whatever you hear happening to me, do not come out from where you're hiding. This is not unique. Being replicated now in so many places. Imagine what it's like. Did you just read yesterday of the British journalist, the woman who was almost raped, mass raped by a mob in Egypt after the election? We're not going to let these sort of issues go. Other people might say, no, don't talk about it. That's not what we do here. Now, the people who put that video together, and by the way, if you go to YouTube or various blogs, you'll find it in its entirety. It's probably about 20 minutes long. The group is called the United West, and its president is Tom Trento, who joins us now via Skype from Miami. Welcome to you, sir.
Michael, very good to be here on this difficult day, but we'll see what we can do to make it better.
Mm-hmm. Now, the video that we just saw about 4 or 5 minutes of in Canada of a group of guys, very peaceful, holding up signs in Dearborn, Michigan, might not approve of the signs, so what? Ignore people you don't agree with. But they were attacked, they were stoned. I think they probably would have been lynched if there hadn't been some police around eventually. Why did you put this video out, and who exactly are the United West? What is this organization?
Yeah, the United West is about 6 years old. We are a counterterrorism educational organization, basically defending the U.S. Constitution, defending the right of the State of Israel to exist, and defeating the Muslim Brotherhood, Sharia-compliant Islam here in the United States and other places in the West.
Right. Now, the video, I think that video would have shocked many people in Canada because we assume that in the United States of America, you are absolutely committed to freedom of speech. And what we saw there was a group of completely peaceful guys who were physically assaulted. But then this is what it just is extraordinary. The police not only do nothing really to protect them, but they then lie through their teeth. They say, we can't give you a couple of officers to look after you. But they stop them on their way, when they're leaving the event. About 14 cops stop them in several cruisers to give them a hard time.
It's mind-boggling, Michael, and it's been out just a couple of days. It's getting about 150,000 views a day right now. It's number 13 in worldwide viral videos, number 1 on the Christian video blog. It is infuriating. It is a graphic illustration of the civilization jihad that has come here to America in this town that our president, President Obama, hails and views as the epitome of Islamic paradise in America.
Has he used that term, Islamic paradise?
No, he hasn't used that term, but he also, on Obamacare, didn't use the term that it was a tax. So you have to read behind the lines, and we have footage of him giving a speech just 2 months earlier where he's speaking to a Muslim audience and Muslim leaders and all of this, saying his name, Barack Hussein Obama. I, Barack Hussein Obama, I'm here. So we know how to deconstruct the syntax of our president, and this is a city that he really views as a successful Islamic city.
Well, I mean, I certainly agree that he will use anything, can lie as well, to be re-elected. And so he will pretend to be a Christian and I think pretend to be a Muslim, perhaps. I don't think he's either of those. But this is Dearborn, Michigan, which is particular and peculiar within North America, really, because of the enormous Arab-Muslim population. Is it confined? I mean, it's bad enough in Dearborn, but can we say this wouldn't happen anywhere other than Dearborn, Michigan?
No, we cannot say that. I'm seeing, and I'm one of the authors of a book called Sharia, the Threat to America, with the folks on Team B2 that include Frank Gaffney, Andy McCarthy, Jim Woolsey. And we do a lot of work on the Muslim Brotherhood in America. We're seeing this unique blending of the Arab Spring aggressive mentality with the endorsement of the Brotherhood by President Obama recently, inviting them into the White House, resulting in the Arab street in America becoming virulently violent and aggressive there in Dearborn, and we're seeing it in patches of other areas like South Florida, in some areas in Southern California, in Minneapolis. So it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have heard stories out of Dearborn. I know one happened. I spoke to the person who was involved. When, again, there were a group of people simply with a placard, a sign outside a Muslim center. The police were called by a Muslim group. The police officer spoke to the imam in Arabic privately and then went over to the protesters and said he was going to arrest them. But the cops we saw involved here, I don't think they were Muslim. I don't think they were Arab. Don't they have an instinct? Don't they think this is wrong? I mean, this is America. There's a constitution. These guys are merely standing there peacefully. We can't give them a hard time. We should be protecting them.
Well, you know, your Canadian view is a bit optimistic and idealistic in terms of the facts on the ground in Dearborn. Many of the police officers are Arabic, one in particular, one of the leaders. But the ones who were not, they recognize that they are living in a town that is run by Arabs, and in order to keep their job, they have to toe the line. We know this because last year, we didn't shoot this footage. We've shot a lot of footage in Dearborn. Last year, we had a camera crew there. Our camera crew was assaulted. We have a pending case against two Muslim criminals. It's been like pulling teeth trying to get the police to prosecute these guys, but we're moving ahead doing it. And we've dealt with the Arab obstacle to Western civilization encroaching upon this banned area now, this no-go zone of Dearborn, Michigan.
You know, in Canada, we look at what is going on, and I think we have actually probably one of the more peaceful Islamic populations. We have had issues with attempts at terror. But, for example, when the Pope made his entirely valid statements in Germany, there were no protests. We've had one or two demonstrations. We have had problems with honor killings. But we don't seem to have such a physical aggression on the street that you're having now in the U.S.
Yeah, if you study the doctrines and the memorandum of the Muslim Brotherhood, I know this sounds like a Hollywood movie, but we have in our hand the memorandum of the Brotherhood. They have a 5-part civilization jihad process, and a lot of it is dependent upon the number of Muslims in a given geographic area. So you're spread out. The communities are spread out somewhat, but I guarantee you, as this occurs more and more unconfronted in the United States, the Arab community in Canada and the non-Arab Muslim community are going to start seeing their brothers and sisters down here, and there's going to be communication, and you're going to see the testing of your culture, whether or not you have the resistance to stand against the civilization jihad. That's the issue.
You know, I suspect you may be right, because people who think this is extreme, if you look at the cases of Britain, France, Holland, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Belgium, it seems to be a very similar theme. Look, I appreciate your time. We'll have you back on the show. Thank you so very much indeed.
Thank you, Michael. Take care, and God bless your work, let me tell you.